guys. Thanks very much for having me and allowing me to participate. Jeremy, I guess it goes without saying that, we've been on a fast track across a number of initiatives over the course of the last month. The ability to kind of really deploy and execute on the level that we want to right now kind of serves not only our objectives as a company, but it fits very, very well into CoinGenius's, I would say, objective out there about deploying and creating greater and enabling greater transparency across this industry and the ability to kind of drive a whole new generation of analytics. So I'm going to try to, put this presentation in context. I want to show you the application and some of the success that we've had over the course of the last 2 months during an open beta. We founded the company in 2017 really to build a new search engine, and that search engine was going to be vertical in nature, delivering highly relevant, data intelligence in a safe and secure, an ultra safe and secure environment to consume that. We all know what the issues are when we click on things, no matter where they are. So we kind of wanted to address that as we saw the vulnerabilities that were demonstrated during the 2017 ICO boom. We had a mission, and that mission was to standardize certain data sets that we could pull in from, both on-chain and chain sources, and kind of drive an engagement there. So we started a company to do this. We built a pretty interesting infrastructure. We started to work on business models. And in 2018, we figured out a way how to transcend over the blockchain space. Not that we're not blockchainers for life and kind of really understand the culture that's going on here, but really to participate on the transformation of this industry. So we kind of set out to build this new engine, really a framework environment that would allow us to connect with other data networks and normalize that information across the user interface. So rather than bore you on the deck side, I want to take you right into the application and kind of show you the evolution of things, because as we started to bring out this first version of the product internally, we started to think about how do we drive a consensus-driven experience for people based on the relevancy of content and the way that content is consumed. So we started to normalize data across our environment from both APIs as well as unstructured sources. Getting that information we all know from the web into a user experience is difficult. It's not rocket science anymore, but it has to be validated, and we know that validated data is much more valuable depending on who's looking at it. So we started to build this search engine that was going out and extracting information from the web, tagging it, and creating a way to drive, I would say, more relevant results to the next person. So we experimented across a 6 to 8 month period here, thinking about tokenization, but it wasn't really driving our objective. Our objective was, how do we build a great product at the end of the day? And whether or not we find a blockchain attached to it at the at some juncture is really yet to be seen. So we started to build information across various assets across the industry, which now evolved into this opportunity to be able to take this methodology and apply it across every single innovation vertical. We know our industry overlaps with a number of important, frameworks. Security, always, right? Banking and regulatory compliance. And then, of course, where's the buzz at the end of the day, right? We have God knows how many tokens out there, right? And yet, the consolidation is really across, the top 10, right? So that's where all the activity is. But I think all the rewards are in, the bottom half of the pool that people are not paying attention to. So we started to build this system. And then we further kind of developed our methodology about how do we integrate this with the networks? And this is where the CoinGenius partnership started to evolve, right? How could we take this framework, isolate it for the blockchain space, and deliver it to the CoinGenius network where people can consume this information and they can be safe in that environment that they're consuming it? So we built this version for CoinGenius, and I got to tell you something, we deployed it over the course of the last 3 weeks. It's fully operational. We're going through final Q&A right now, and I'm sure everybody that's on this call as well as in the network will get an invite soon to kind of be part of this new beta. So basically what we're doing is we're consolidating and curating information, again, across APIs, building it into a search engine, We have a safe browser that's on the inside of this thing, so we're not really collecting any information, and everything is staying within the context of your relationship, but we've pre-vetted a lot of these web environments already. We have fundamental information right now in over 6,000 blockchain companies, right? And that information really starts to curate, it allows us to be able to curate data intelligence across the way this information is being consumed.
So Brian, let's go ahead and get into some of the platform. I know we have limited time before the next one, but holistically, what we're saying here is CoinGenius is always looking for the best partners and technology providers as well to be able to help enable the aggregated analytics that we've been talking about for quite a while now to help people in the space get to the information that they need quicker. And that can't be done with one single company. That needs to be done with a network, which is why we've created the Genius Network and created partnerships with the likes of Plato Technologies. So Brian, if you want to show off a sneak peek into the platform as well as coingenius.news, which I think is rather exciting, then we can pass it to Russ.
So look, we're in the game of engagements, and we had to be able to build a frictionless user experience for somebody to be able to consume information. So 2 months ago, we started a beta. We are at 49,000 users over the period of there, 86% of it organic because of the way that we're organizing our data and delivering it to Google. Okay, and this becomes really important here. So we opened up our open platform right here, which is we'll have a CoinGenius URL.
On the screen, we can't see it. We can only see the.
Hold on one second.
Okay, cool.
I think I just screwed that one up. Hold on. All right, let me know when I'm up.
Yep, I can see. Yep.
Awesome.
Hey, Brian, we can see your browser.
Okay, cool. So let's just go to the site for a second. So we're curating all this information across various market verticals. Because of the way that we're delivering this information to Google, okay, it is rewarding us, and it's rewarding us immensely. So here's a real life example I just pulled prior to the call today. This is a company called JP Morgan and Chase. Now we know who they are. We don't really know who has come in from the company, but because we're triangulating data on the IP side, we have a really good opportunity to understand who our audience is and what they're consuming. So we see that JP Morgan Chase kind of came in under this search, which again, this is the link that it drove us to. And when we do the search into Google, which I've done already, I'm going to get to the page in a second. I don't know if it's bandwidth issues or not. This was the headline here, right? Which in turn gave us #1 ranking here in Google. Now, when I tell you that this happens hundreds of times a day, information that we're curating and the backlink structure that we've provided, we are now a traffic machine. And that traffic machine needs to act responsibly across community metrics and community environments to be able to kind of drive the best intelligence. So that's our vision jointly, is to kind of drive this through Genius right now and have this interface environment available to the community within the next 30 days.
Okay, can we show off a little bit of CoinGenius.pro and some of the things you guys are doing there?
Yeah. Yep.
And then Russ, I know we don't have much time and we have a lot to cover, so try to.
So this is CoinGenius.pro. Do you see it on your screen?
Yep.
Okay. So basically, we took all that information that we have across these environments right now and have kind of built this into not only our search engine, but a regional tool to go out and find data intelligence on companies. So we have the fundamentals right now on over 5,000 blockchain companies, all shapes and sizes, okay? And really a way for us to be able to organize and understand the consumption of this data is to drive our search algorithm. So that's kind of where we are on this. It's just a lot of, staying bootstrapped is kind of really important to a certain extent. And now it's about how do we touch millions of people with this content and with this data and help kind of drive a narrative in the industry.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. Russ, I know we have a few minutes, maybe 6 minutes left. So Russ is our CTO of CoinGenius, and he is really focused a lot on, a lot of the analytics, deep analytics, utilizing machine learning and artificial intelligence to be able to derive valuable insights for traders. So he's going to talk about some of the really exciting stuff we're working on, especially the bleeding edge technology and the cutting edge stuff that we're doing on the CoinGenius Labs division as well. So with that, Russ, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Perfect. Brian, if you could stop sharing your screen, that would be awesome. And then I can share out what we're building out on our end. So we at CoinGenius firmly believe that it is imperative to have robust decision-making across all types of trading. So if you see within our analytics platform that will eventually be fed into the CoinGenius.pro, we are at the bleeding edge of data ingestion and data visualization so that both small time traders and large financial firms can get the greatest level of intelligence to make their greatest informed decisions. So unlike traditional markets, a strong driver within Bitcoin is sentiment. Sentiment can be thought of as how good or bad you view an article. So you is a keyword that I'm going to talk about at the end of this case. Right now, this is a novel algorithm that is what we, in addition to our Genius network that is comprised of data scientists, a great development team, great data science teams, and leaders in the market. And what we have developed is a real-time sentiment tool to allow you to gauge how positive or negative social media data is at a given hour. So if you see in this right here, we have a variety of what we call widgets. And in these widgets, you can see how positive or negative a tweet is over time. Now, this allows for real-time decision-making through our widgets down here, where you can see these dials. These dials not only represent hourly sentiment, which we know is a driver in the cryptocurrency financing space. In addition, what differentiates us from all of the other platforms out there is that we have a firm belief that the traditional market plays a role in these analytics. And in fact, we allow our users to have real-time estimation of how correlated or anti-correlated two asset classes are. And that allows you, whether you're a small time trader or a large firm trader, to pick and choose what assets you might believe are strongest for your portfolio and look at how they compare both over time and at that instant through these correlation graphs. So for example, you see how highly correlated Bitcoin and crude oil is, how anti-correlated Bitcoin and VIX is, the volatility index. And what this is going to develop to is a very robust platform where you can click and drag and really define at a personal level your viewpoints. Within the correlations, we are also defining incredible advances within the larger AI space. So one of the problems within data cryptocurrency forecasting is the fact that we have limited data to make limited inferences. Therefore, we have to utilize data augmentation techniques to create forecasting models. So what we're doing is we're utilizing the bleeding advances in GANs, generative adversarial networks, deep learning, advanced analytics to allow our users to both also have real-time analytics for decision-making based on correlations, based on time series trends, and in the long term, a novel platform to have your own inferences made in real time. Using novel data science techniques, we are allowing you, the user, to specify your belief in the given system and make inferences based on that. So all of this level of fundamental belief in utilizing data science allows us to create a platform that is driven towards your needs. Now, the next step of what we're moving towards is an entire personalization engine where you can supply your own data from your own viewpoint, whether you're a long-term trader, a short-term trader, or somewhere in between. You might have different viewpoints on how positive or negative a given news source is. And that's going to make your decision-making unique to you. So what we're going to allow you to do is within these next coming months is to create a drag and drop feature within our News Play-Doh lab in order to let you upload real-time sentiment data catered towards you. So this is a really personalized approach to data science and allows us to utilize some of these correlation charts that we will be embedding into our platform, for example, so you can see how highly correlated all of these assets are, both in cryptocurrency spaces, news data regarding those correlated to price. And then as we go down, we also start beginning looking at analyses of both asset data and news data for real-time correlations. So what we're doing is, again, building a robust platform so both the individualized trader and large-scale firms can have the most robust decision-making possible.
All right. Thank you, Russ, the CoinGenius CTO. Really appreciate that. A lot of interesting things that we're doing there. As you saw earlier on the chat as well, we created a Telegram group for some of these signals. You'll see some of those now. So look back in the chat, or maybe somebody in our team can repost that. We'll start layering in some of these correlations and alerts that you would need to know about. So increased rise in sentiment, or increased rise in correlation, or anti-correlation as well. So thank you, Russ. Really appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and move to the next panel, which is the rise of the alts. So if everybody who's on that panel can join us now, we'll move on.
Perfect. Thank you.